My name's Ian. We're going to talk about Guerrilla Marketing Madness. Start off with a story. Shark in a pool. Here's a millionaire, wealthy man. He has a dinner party, and he has everybody over. Has a huge Olympic-sized pool. So he has all of his friends come out, and he tells them, hey, here's the deal. I feel like an adrenaline rush. So here's what we're going to do. And he pulls the tarp off the pool, and there's the shark in the pool. He says, first person across the pool, I'll give you one of three things. I'll give you $100,000, or I'll make you a business partner, or I'll give you my daughter. He's kind of an old school guy from a different culture where he thought he could actually give his daughter away. Guy hits the pool, splash. He's swimming, he evades the shark, makes it on the other side of the pool. He jumps out, the man comes up to him, that was amazing! I can't believe what you did! What do you want the money? No, I don't want the money. Okay, my business partner? No, I don't want to be your business partner. Son, I want your daughter. I want to know who pushed me. I want to know who pushed me. You know, oftentimes, I feel like I was pushed into my career. And I didn't really plan on getting into marketing or being involved with business at the scale I have, or the diversity that I've had with different operations. And oftentimes it feels like I'm swimming with a shark. Like I'm drowning, I'm not going to make it through this thing, and then somehow I make it on the other side, only to look back and say, man, what a cool experience, what a cool victory. I'm a family guy, so this is my two young boys, 4 and 1, and my wife, Jonna. These are a few of the companies that I have a level of leadership in. So Kukui, I helped launch that, and now we have about 75 employees, 3 offices around the world. It's a software company. So we built some software for small businesses. Realty's real estate project I've been working on, and I'm just kind of getting into the relaunch of that. Take No Glory is my wife's band. So we've traveled, done a couple hundred concerts, 4 albums, had a lot of fun doing the music thing. New Habitat is my family business. So my parents started that. I'm on their board, I help with their marketing, and there's a few other things I'm involved with, mostly stuff like the rescue mission, or I'm helping launch a studio over at the local church here, Vintage Faith, called Mission Studio. So I do find myself mainly wanting to be involved with teams of people, inspiring people around an idea, and then getting involved with the marketing. The thing I love about marketing is that marketing is my ability, my opportunity, really, to sell to many people at one time. I love to sell. I love the opportunity to communicate, to be passionate, to paint a vision, to paint a picture in someone's mind, and to allow them to see things they haven't seen before, and then to provide a tool that they can use for that purpose. So marketing to me is the ability to do that with a mass number of people. Thinking about the connection through the internet, or through the TV campaign, or through the radio ad. Thinking about they're affecting someone's life, they're taking someone's time. Someone is listening to what they had to produce. Someone's watching what they had to produce. They have a chance to connect with that person. To remember, we're connecting with people. Here's the intro. We are going to do a brief case study on the Santa Cruz business, New Habitat, something that I'm familiar with. And then on national real estate business, the one I'm launching right now, Realty, and then Q&A. Let's jump into New Habitat. New Habitat is a general and framing construction company. Started in 1976. My dad was a journeyman. He started this. My mom's a realtor, and they kind of worked together to start the construction company. In the last 15 years, I've gotten involved, helped them to do the branding and all the marketing, and kind of helped them take the next step in their company. So the goal is to show how New Habitat's created a dominant online brand in order to generate a consistent flow of leads. So here's what we're going to cover. Small business website design, using freelancers from sites like 99 Designs, local SEO, local social media, marketing, and review of simple tools like Hootsuite and Buffer. This will be very quick. Feel free to stop me if you need to. However, we will take a lot of time for Q&A at the end. I speak quicker than my mouth can handle most of the time. Small business web design. So here is the home page of the site. To lay out a few things for you, I have had probably 2,000 clients that I've done marketing for that are local businesses. My team has taught me many things. And one is how to lay out a local business site. We have done A and B testing on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different sites. We've seen conversion rates go from 3% to 10%, some all the way up over 50%. That is a very significant thing. If a business at one point had a 5% conversion rate, where 20 people visit the site and they get one phone call, and then they get a 15% conversion rate, that's 3 times as many leads for the same exact website and the same number of visitors. So here are some of the things that we found. Having a quote, something that really promotes the brand, is very important. People relate with that. It's very good in terms of the layout. Having a call to action in terms of fill this form out, we'll give you a free estimate, or call this number right now, we'll give you a free estimate. You'll see that I have some social media buttons on the top, but those do not click through. You never want to have buttons click off of your website and draw them away from your calls to action. Stating who you are, what you do, either a photo slideshow or a video, these are the type of things that we have found really change the conversion. Colors matter, but not so much, and there's lots of different elements that you can tweak on. As you scroll down this page, you'll see that towards the bottom we have logos. This is our chance to promote our partners, people that we've partnered up with, and also our chance to leverage their clout amongst people's minds. So, people know of Think Local Santa Cruz, or they know of the Construction Guild in Santa Cruz, or maybe the Green Business. So when they're on this site, they now say, oh, I can relate this business to something I'm familiar with, something I trust. Every single type of thing that this construction company does has unique content that is not duplicated, it's not copied, it is fresh, written by a professional copywriter. This site is built by my software company, Kukui. I'm no longer at Kukui, I still am on the board. I was the president for a couple of years, and I stepped down due to an injury, handed off the leadership to a few of our employees. But very passionate about their product. So they built a platform that's very unique. This platform that Kukui built is for a small business, allows them to control their website, email marketing, text message marketing, postcards, their search engine optimization, their AdWords, and on top of all that, it ties it into the business's point of sale system. What that means is that you can track conversion and actually see not only how many visits you got from Yelp, or what people typed into Google to find you, but did they actually convert, and did they spend money, and did they come back again? It's a very unique product, we're very proud of it, and I'm very humbled that I was able to be a part of it. This is 99 Designs. So the new Habitat logo was done on 99 Designs. So is the Take No Glory logo. I found a couple of people off 99 Designs that I continue to work with for several years, and I find it to be a really approachable freelance network. So I do suggest that if you need a freelancer and you haven't used any of the different sites, 99 Designs can be fairly effective. As far as local SEO and local social media marketing, this is an example of some kind of local social media marketing and local SEO. So when you go to YouTube, there's a little 1-minute video. This has gotten 38,000 views. Some of the things that have a lot of views and a lot of likes on my page are because I bought AdWords, or I've done extremely aggressive marketing to get these things to pump up. You can see his homepage on YouTube. It has the main video and then some sub videos. You can see it's very simple. iMovie, pictures, music, gets the message across, and it does convert visitors. If you look for New Habitat, it was actually very difficult to get him to the top, New Habitat Inc. But we have done that. A local business can dominate with their word, no matter how competitive it is, if they take the time to build the site and kind of get out there and let the search engine do its indexing. In terms of local search, this would be an example. If you look for Santa Cruz Framing Contractor, you'll see New Habitat shows up on the very top. You'll then see that New Habitat Santa Cruz Framing Contractor shows up second. So this is what a local business is going for. A local business wants to dominate the local search results, whether they can get the first spot or several spots on the first page, and this is what New Habitat has been able to do, and it's been great in terms of the results. So this is the Twitter page, and I set up 50 tweets. And I have it on a rotating schedule, so a couple go out every single day. I use Buffer. You can use Buffer for free if you just have a simple account. All of Buffer, Hootsuite, which I'll get to in a moment, I use paid accounts because I have so many different accounts that I manage. But for a small business, free Buffer account, easy to post. It's very intuitive. And so, for instance, for his, I'll just load his 50 tweets 4 times, so I have the next 200 tweets done, dialed in, don't have to think about it for the next 100 days. And then I use the hashtags, Santa Cruz, California, project management. So I use hashtags so if people are looking for something similar, they'll find it and just kind of use that natural inbound marketing through Twitter. On Facebook, it's very similar in terms of the way I set up. You want the design to look the same. There are many ways of just kind of laying things out so people are drawn to. Most any sort of account you can load right into Hootsuite and you can manage everything. It's a little more complex in terms of the interface. Buffer does have an easier interface to use, and I find that Buffer is better for scheduling, and Hootsuite is better for monitoring. Don't overthink it. It's not as complicated as it may seem when you start, and their support is great. So you can contact them, and they'll provide fantastic support for you. So Realty, it's a national real estate tech company. This is a video that we created to intro Realty, so I'll do that so you can get an idea of what it is and what the message is I'm trying to get across to people. Whatever we do achieve, I think it's going to be really great for the real estate industry, and I have enjoyed the process. Now again, I'm not logged in. So what I'm showing you on my desktop computer, in terms of the search, it's not like custom done just for me, and you would find this exact same thing. So if you look for Realty, you'll see that we are on the top of that search, which is important. Also, our Facebook page shows up, our Twitter page shows up, our SlideShare page shows up, our YouTube page shows up. Now, for us to have 5 of the top 10 spots for that word Realty is significant. And this is one reason why on a national scale, it is very important to consider being on social media. Now on local, it's not as important, but nationally it is, because things like YouTube and SlideShare and Twitter and Facebook are picked up, and it allows you to have a more dominant presence on the search engine. Now I have 6 specific phrases I'm going after. Now if I wanted to go after real estate search, that would be very difficult. No matter how good I am at SEO, no matter how great my team is, it could take us a very long time if we would ever be able to compete with the big players, at least right now. So I've gone after phrases that are easier to compete with. So search, connect, buy, and sell real estate is kind of our homepage thing, but what you can see is that we are the first 3 spots. YouTube, SlideShare, and then also our homepage is the 5th and the 6th, and we're right here. We have, first, second, third, 5th, and 6th, and you have Realtor and Inman right between us, which are massive, massive sites. Now, the way this was accomplished was by building the site, using that phrase, and then creating all the content on these other social media sites with the same phrase, and then linking everything together, and then we worked hard to get other blogs and stuff to pick up our content. Now I'll show you our site so you can get an idea of what we're actually doing. So this is the Realty site. The goal of this site is a couple things. Number one, I want to give something to the real estate community. Okay, they don't know Realty, they certainly don't know me, and I want to give them something before I even ask for anything. So what I'm giving them are these 5 infographics. One's on statistics, one's on searching, one's on connecting with a realtor, one is on buying and selling, and one is on kind of the top places for real estate. Now by me giving this content away, it does draw interest to my site. It does draw interest to what we are actually doing. And because of that, people will land on the site, whether they land on the home page or one of the internal pages, and we hope that they would say, hey, I would like to get access to this platform when you guys launch it. For my team, it's important for us to know what the interest is. Now, we've had an 8% conversion. So 8% of the people that visit this site sign up. So what that tells me and my team is people want to know what this technology is. They're interested in what we're going for, and we believe we can kind of gather a tribe and community around what we are trying to accomplish. To show you some more about search engine optimization on a national scale and the way that we've laid it out and had somewhat of a dominant presence nationally, it is long phrases. Like amazing 2013 real estate statistics. You take out 2013, we don't show up as well. You take out amazing, we don't show up as well. So we're going after these long phrases. The reason you do that is you start with long phrases, and then you scale back over time, and you get shorter and shorter phrases to become more and more dominant. But as you look here, we are the top with our YouTube page, we're second with SlideShare, we're third with the Realty page, and then comes all of the big boys, Realtor.com, and all these types of companies. Similar type of thing for searching for real estate. YouTube, SlideShare, visually, that's us right there, and then as you scroll down, our homepage is number 6. And you kind of see the same exact thing with connecting, with buying and selling, and then with the real estate companies. So what we've done here is we've created a dominant presence on the search engines. Now, why do this? Is it for pride? Is it for ego? So I can say, look at this, we dominate Google, yay us. No, I mean, it's for inbound marketing phrase. Let's say they're looking specifically for connecting with a real estate agent. And so they land here, and whether they land on SlideShare or YouTube or our homepage, it won't matter, because ultimately it's going to kind of funnel back to our information. We want people to embrace our information, to share our information, and then to go on our site and decide whether or not they want access to our platform in the future. That is the end goal. I don't have an email on there. I don't have a phone number on there. There's no way to get in touch with us. They don't know when the platform is being launched. They don't even know what the platform is. All they know is our hope, and they know what we're aiming for, and they know that we've given them free information, and that we at least have an understanding of the real estate market. Now, in terms of what we're doing with social media, I can just kind of walk through a few of the things. So on YouTube has been a fairly exciting place. So for YouTube, we have been able to attract, I think, like almost 200,000 views to our videos and a bunch of subscribers. Now, why that matters is that when people land on these videos, they can see, oh wow, people value this information, they're looking at it, they're sharing it, and so then they now give it value, not because of the content, but because of the tribe mentality. Oh, people like it, so maybe I should like it too. People have watched it, so maybe I should watch it also. And people have shared it, so I should share it too. Another thing, Twitter and Facebook obviously are fairly important. So for Facebook, I actually have 20 different Facebook accounts for uRealty. I have the main uRealty account, and then I have 19 other supporting accounts that are all unique, that focus on different parts of real estate, and then they can, kind of work off of each other. It's an experiment. It actually has worked out fairly good, and then this is our uRealty page. So we have 13,000 likes. We're posting constantly and just trying to encourage people to share. And you see, every single time we post, we have several hundred people that see the content, depending on the time of day or what it is that we're posting. And every once in a while you get lucky. For instance, I had one of our sites take off, and it was basically by accident. I didn't really expect it, and it was just supposed to be a sub-site for uRealty, and it's real estate. 45,000 likes on real estate. So the domain is facebook.com/realestate777. Posts very similar stuff to what uRealty posts, kind of cross-pollinates, and this site just happened to just explode. People saw real estate, they saw good content, so they kind of flocked to it and said, oh, this must be the real estate site on Facebook. And I'll show you another example, which would be Twitter, which has been also very good for us. So for Twitter, we have followers, and we follow a certain number of influential people ourselves, and then we're constantly pumping out information. Also, we want to retweet other companies that have great things to say. So Realtors and Zillow and Inman, we are also actively engaged with the community. A lot of this is automated. So I use tools to automate most of this process. It obviously takes a long time to set up, but once it's set up, it naturally happens. So some of the tools that I use that I can give you an idea of, Sprout Social is a fairly complicated tool. It has the beauty and ease of Buffer. It has the complex analytics and reporting of Hootsuite, but it's more complex to set up, and it's very difficult to figure out. And most of the time, people that are doing marketing and stuff like this, if they don't have a team and they're just trying to throw things together, they'd rather use free tools like Buffer and Hootsuite. But if you're trying to do something more aggressive, this may be a good tool to look into. Another tool that I have really appreciated is something called Managed Flitter. So Managed Flitter is just for Twitter accounts. And what it does is it's a really great tool to follow and unfollow people. Social media is kind of an ebb and flow. It's constantly changing. So you'll find yourself wanting to follow new accounts, unfollow accounts that are no longer relevant to you, as well as it is an easy way to research all of Twitter from one place. And you can do a lot of things that take so much time if you're on Twitter.com. You can do it here. Like you can save hours and hours at a time. So this is also a really great tool that I have enjoyed using. That's the basic overview that I wanted to do today. I want to show you new habitat as a local Santa Cruz business, how you can create a dominant presence. I want to show you eRealty as a national business. So if you have a national company, or if you do marketing for a national company, you can kind of take some of these ideas and say, maybe we can do something more aggressive to actually take our place in the market. I would love to learn from you. But I can try to answer questions, things that I've learned over time, may not have the answers, but we can kind of have a conversation. My goal is to have half the time just for us to discuss together. I didn't want to just come up and do the monologue. So anything, yes?
So you mentioned that on YouTube, the video has been really successful, and you used all kinds of marketing tools to boost that video. What did you use? Sure.
So I used Elance. I used a freelancer from Elance to do the research. I used a freelancer from Elance to compile all the information, the design, and also the video production. So the videos were done by a guy that does video production for Dancing with the Stars and a bunch of different major outlets. But you find these guys and they're willing to do things at a fair rate. And then from there, I launch everything, and then you use Twitter and Facebook, and then there are some other elements out there that you can use to kind of kickstart the energy on things. You want to be careful. You don't want to do, there's a lot of cheats out there that Google would not appreciate, YouTube would not appreciate. So whatever you do in terms of finding different tricks may not be following the terms and conditions of the sites, and you might find yourself getting your whole marketing into trouble. So be very careful. Make sure you do your due diligence. If you're going to use somebody on Fiverr or Elance, just make sure that they have a proven track record and people are really happy with their work. But that's how we kick things off with YouTube. Yeah.
It seems like, I hope it's not off topic, but it seems like you have so much going on. You always have 3 or 4 projects.
Yeah.
But what's the day in the life of you? I mean, how do you manage all those? And then also just I hear sometimes people say you have to be laser focused to be successful.
Yeah.
And I know for me, I'm the same way. I always have 3 things going on at one time.
Yeah.
But how do you manage all of that?
It's a good question. As far as my schedule, a day in the life, for me, it's more like a week in the life or a month in the life, and then trying to figure it backwards. I have to sleep. So I have to mark that out. So I need at least 3 hours. I'd like 6. I have to spend time with my family. So that doesn't have to be every single day, but it needs to happen every week. It certainly needs to happen every month. I just took my wife and my 2 boys on an RV trip for 2.5 weeks because I had basically been working 100 hours a week for a month, and I was burnt out. And my wife said, "Hey, let's go RVing," and then we did, and we just kept going. So you can consolidate this time. So in terms of family, it has to be a priority for me personally. And then from there is trying to figure out what are the things that only I can do, that I can't outsource, I can't have help with, nobody on my team is going to be able to do for me, and then making those things a priority. And then I have whiteboards everywhere. So I kind of have things in red that are urgent, things in blue that are important, things in black that I want to get done at some point. And then I do schedule things out. So my phone is fairly full in terms of the schedule, and I try to mix things up. So I try to have phone calls, I try to have face-to-face time, and I try to have solo time. The way that I've learned best to lead your time, what I mean by leading time is saying, I'm going to decide ahead of time what I'm going to do with my day. And I'm going to put that in my calendar. And then my calendar controls me. Because I led my calendar when I was thinking soberly, I was thinking clearly, and I knew what I wanted, and it wasn't 4 in the morning, and I wasn't I don't want to get up, because my calendar's in control, because I already told myself what I was going to do. So leading your time, and the way that I encourage people to set it up, which has been encouraged to me by mentors, is to lay out a 10% Sabbath time, 10 to 20% Sabbath, which doesn't have to be every day or every week, but you should take off, maybe a few days a month, maybe a couple weeks a year. And then make sure you have that, and you don't let years and years go by without ever breaking away, without turning off your phone, turning off your computer. After you kind of have in that meditative, Sabbath time, time to break away from the madness, then you want to have focus time, which can't be a lot, but maybe 40% of your time. Where you say, I shut the door, I have earphones in, even if I'm not listening to anything, they won't bug me, right? I don't answer my calls, I put it on airport mode, and I am laser focused, I'm not checking email, I am focused. And then you have to have like 50% of your time as buffer time, meaning that you have to realize that you're going to be interrupted. People are going to take your time. People are going to, want you to, they love you and they have a plan for your life. Right? And everybody has that. And so realizing that for me, I have a very fluid schedule, and I constantly get the whiteboard and my wife, I'm like, all right, I'm going to change everything. This is the day. We're going to schedule my life. And then it just never seems to happen. But I'm going to try it again tomorrow. I have it on the schedule to schedule. We will see if it happens again. So, any other questions on this stuff? Yes?
I take it that you have a consultation service that sets a business up to operate on its own after it gets going. That's true.
Yeah, well, I do that. But I have so many things going on that it's not something that I actively seek. So I don't have like a consulting firm or a marketing firm. I just have people that are always asking me for help. And sometimes on a very large scale, like I'm in talks with, I probably shouldn't say the name of the company. So, but something on very large international scales where we're talking about, 5, 6, sometimes even 7 figures with major projects. But that's not really my business. My business is I'm completely invested in like Kukui, the software company, and making sure that is really pumping and we're continuing to grow. My wife's music is very important to me. This Realty thing is kind of the focus for me right now, helping my parents' company. So I'm fortunate that at this point I have things set up in such a way that I have some freedom to focus on my own projects, but I do find myself usually helping do 1 or 2 projects for other friends or people that have been referred every season. I'm more inclined to sit down with somebody for 20 minutes or an hour, hear them out, and try to inspire them to do things on their own or try to encourage them kind of where they can go and get the help. And of course, sometimes it makes sense for me to step in and do it. It's so hard for me to say what my time is worth because I do work for people that for free, and then I charge $450 an hour for other projects. Very rarely, but that's kind of like, what is my time worth? Because how fast can I get things done? Sometimes I can accomplish something in 3 hours that may take a slow-moving firm with a lot of people several days on. So it really depends on what I'm working on. Let's say that Coldwell Banker or Realtor.com contact me next month. Ian, man, we can't help but notice what's happening with your Realty. You have this whole desire to launch a technology. We'd like to see what you have, and in fact, we'd like to, acquire your company. You've built a large brand, and we'd like to take that brand. We'd like to run with it. We think with our resources, our staff, our money, we can do more than any startup in the Silicon Valley. So, would you be interested in letting us acquire it and staying on staff with us, or letting us acquire it and walking away? And then we work out some sort of acquisition deal. So then I hand it off. So how would I do the handoff, right, in that specific case? I would set up all the tools. I'd segregate the tools from my own account, set up uRealty with all its own tools, its own domain, everything would be separate. And then I would hand it off with either a manual or I'd contract myself to do live training for days, weeks, or potentially months to kind of help take the brand and maybe even integrate our technology. Now, that is an extreme example because it's my company, but let's say like New Habitat. Okay, so in that case, I set everything up, I automate it all, and it does not even cross my mind. I think about New Habitat an hour a month, but I had to spend hundreds of hours to set it up that way. For folks that I help with marketing, the same. I won't take any control over anything. I make sure that anybody that I work with, they have full control over everything in case we ever butt heads. There never has to be a legal issue because I can just step away, walk away, and they are in control of it all. Also, when I do exit, it makes the transition much easier and makes it much less likely that they'll always be coming back to me for more help. So I always think, I try to joke, people like say, fake it till you make it, or the new thing on TED Talk is fake it till you become it. And my thing is, I live in the future. So I'm not trying to fake something. I'm constantly thinking, a week ahead, or 3 months ahead, or 10 years ahead. Like, where do I want this to be at? How do I get there? How do I set it up in such a way that I can get to that exit point if I want an exit to be, in my future in that specific thing. So I think setting things up in such a way that they can easily be automated and or handed off without your involvement is very important if you're doing marketing, guerrilla marketing work for someone.
Because for smaller businesses to come in, I mean, not everybody's going to have the passion and the time for you to work 14 hours.
Sure.
Do you have a plan that then scales down to small businesses so that they can say, okay, I'll start one Facebook page and do guerrilla marketing for them, and one YouTube channel and do guerrilla marketing for them?
Yeah, I mean, it's very unlikely that I would ever get involved in small projects, to be honest with you. It's too hard for me to stay motivated and excited about it. But I am more than happy to try and take 15 minutes to kind of give some direction. Here's what you do, here's how you set it up, and then let the person do it on their own and empower them for that. The whole thought of teach a man to fish, eat for a lifetime, don't fish for the man, and keep having to feed him. And after talking about a massive tuna boat and we're going to catch tons of fish, then I might be excited about it. But I've done so many things over the last 15 years that I'm more inclined to want to do really massive projects with a big risk. And local business projects, I find that I'm more inclined to just encourage people to go in the right direction. Yeah.
As far as web design goes, all three of your sites kind of the same, with the logo, the menu bar, picture, and call to action.
Yeah.
Is that something you design yourself, or do you use a third party, pre-done layout?
Yeah. So, I think for the design and the layout, I know what works overall, and I find myself trusting my team and my designers more than most people. I am the total opposite of a micromanager. And even to a fault, even if things don't get done right, and I just don't care. I want people to grow in their ability. I want people to screw up and have fun, and that's what I was given. I was able to start working for a web company when I was 16, 17 years old. I didn't know anything, and people gave me an opportunity. So what I would say in terms of the layout is I have a basic idea. So I go into PowerPoint and I just kind of grab text bars and I just kind of lay out everything in terms of an architecture, and then I just talk either through Skype, texting, or with a phone call, depending on who I'm working with. Usually my designers are not local. And then from there, I just tell them, hey man, go for it. This is your project, let's do this thing. And then we usually go back and forth and tweak things for a long time. And ultimately things end up looking very similar because I am the one that's running the project. So it does have a similar look, but it has a similar look because I've studied web design for so long. So I have an idea of what works best. Yeah.
On that point, do you have any more tips on web design?
On web design?
Yeah, that you pointed out in your talk.
Yeah.
More?
Well, I would say you have to have a call to action. You have to lead. Okay, everybody wants a leader. Everyone wants a leader. We long for a leader in our business pursuits, in politics, in our faith, religious pursuits, and we long for a leader when we're on a website. What I mean by that is when you land on a website, you want someone to tell you what to do. You don't want to land there and then wonder, oh, there's so many things, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do. So simplicity and call to action. I think 2 call to action is ideal. For you, Realty, I have 1 because I only want them to do one and only one thing. Now I have sub call to action like share this, look at this, engage with this, but really I want you to sign your email up so that I can see what the interest is in our actual platform. For New Habitat, there's a few call to action, right? There's free estimates, fill out this form. There's call us right now, or there's leave a review if you're a past customer. So I would just say call to action is so important. Scream it. You have to be able to use that, leverage that time to just boldly tell people what to do, lead them, drive them to what it is that you want. So you have to decide, what do you want the website to do? What do you want people to do? And give them that strong call to action and give them a second and third if necessary. Go ahead.
Just real quick, do you have any suggestions as far as getting Facebook likes? Do you think
Yeah,
it seems kind of shady?
Yeah, I think for Facebook likes, you start off with who your network is, and you say, hey, I launched this page, like it. And then from there, see if there really is interest in it. And then, you start liking other business pages, have them kind of like you back, you have good content. I always try to be as careful as I can be and try to find people that are doing things legit, or what we call white hat, not black hat, not get yourself in trouble. Yes?
My question was, so the key phrases that you mentioned that you are using for your SEO campaigns,
Yeah.
how do you find them? Because these long, very specific terms obviously work better, because otherwise you just get lost
Yeah.
in these stuff, all the big companies.
Yeah, so I meant to show you moz.com.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's probably the main thing.
Yeah.
So I'll just pull up for those that don't know it. moz.com is very interesting. A guy named Fishkin, I think it's Rand Fishkin. So basically, here's MOZ. They were a service company, they did SEO for a long time. Then they built a product, they were selling it, they didn't know what to charge. $10 a month, $1,000 a month, they've gone up and down. It's $100 a month now. That happens all the time with software companies. And so basically, they went from service to service and product to only product, and they just raised, I think, $16 million. They're a Seattle company, they raised $16 million here. It's very significant. He talks about his entire experience raising capital. If you or someone you know has a plan to raise capital, especially if they do not live near Palo Alto, following his story would be very beneficial. So $100 a month, and you get access to all these extremely complicated SEO tools that will tell you the keywords to go after and the long tail phrases to go after and all those types of things.
I have a question that's a little bit different topic.
Sure.
For those who, I've got a lot of people coming into the space, they have their idea, they want to find out who could create them a website. Based on your experience, do you suggest that people have a website that's created just for them and they're from scratch really, or are there any instant free websites that tend to be effective as well for those who are on extreme budgets?
Great question. So Wix, W-I-X, is a pretty good solution. Flash, HTML5, it's super fast and it does do the job. The platform that I have found to be very effective as well is Tumblr, which is very surprising because basically Tumblr has this reputation as being like this porn website community thing. Because it's so fast to build a site, it's so easy to put content on, and so that's really why those people have gravitated towards that. But that's my personal site. So ianutile.com, I've had my website on several platforms over the years, but this is a Tumblr site. It's super simple. It's like the elephant one, it's free. So I go to Tumblr, sign up free, I use the elephant, it's on the left-hand side under themes. I put it on there. I built out an About Me page, about.me, so I could have this plugin right here, and then that's it. And then I just I buy the domain, and I just kind of forward the action. So I like Tumblr a lot for this type of thing. If I was going to build a site in a day, I would do a Tumblr site, I'd throw a Facebook, a Twitter, a YouTube page together, I'd slap it all together, integrate everything, get the design right, and pretty much that can be done in a day. But it does take time to figure out, and there is no shortcut. There is no shortcut at becoming good at online marketing. You have to put in the time. It just takes so much time. And there's over 10,000 web design firms. So it's not like you have, dozens of different people to choose from. It is just crazy. And web design firms come and go all the time, come and go, come and go. So ultimately, people should either invest in a really good firm or consultant to do the job right on WordPress or hand-coded or whatever it is that they want to do with all the plugins and everything. Or this is a good solution, just going free, Wix or Tumblr. And now platforms are rising up. So like Kukui, is a great platform. So for a local business that has a budget, they provide the platform that does all the different things I've mentioned, as well as provide the service to actually help build it out. So Kukui is a thing where it has a platform, and you also get a person that helps develop the whole thing out for you. So those are a couple options. Well, thank you. I'm honored that you have me and let me come share. So, cool.